On the cover of a new collection of interviews with Ray Bradbury, the legendary author proclaims, "Sam Weller knows more about my life than I do." It's probably not far from the truth, since Weller can claim to have gotten his start even before he was born. Weller's father read Ray Bradbury to him in the womb. What's your relationship now to Bradbury after all this? You dedicate the book to him and your father as one of your fathers.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting experience here, obviously. There's a father role. He dedicated a book to me in 2003 called Bradbury Stories. And he's turned into this this father-son relationship. There's sort of a complex relationship because there is the father aspect. There's also a great friendship and mentorship aspect. I mean, I've learned more in spending time with him about the creative process and the joy of the creative process, and to celebrate the fact that I can write every day and love it. And he's so aware of the fact that people complain about writing. It's so hard. It's so labor intensive. Quit your whining. You got into this for a reason. So I've learned a lot about him in a mentorship role, or a lot from him. He's taught me just a ton. In so many ways, he's kind of been this Yoda to me. But then also there's this role of scholarship and journalism that I take really seriously. Just because I've developed a personal relationship with him that's quite profound, I still am very dedicated to authentically and accurately charting his legacy. And I can't let the father-son, mentor-pupil role infiltrate my responsibility to document his life. So I've been very cognitive of that all along the way.
10, 20 years from now, when he's not with us anymore, and you look back on this period, is there one sort of personal moment with him that you'll, sort of consider the most prized?
Wow. It's a terrific question. Well, I hope Mr. Electrico, the man who told him you will live forever with his Excalibur sword, you will live forever, I hope he's correct and he will still be here in 20 years. But if he shall leave us, I would say there was one moment that, so many, but there was one day when I was in LA and he said, "Let's get in your rental car and let's just drive around LA, and I want to show you my memories." And he climbed into this shitty Ford Focus. I'm driving Ray Bradbury around in some rental, and we went all around Los Angeles, and it was sort of this time traveling adventure in a Ford Focus. We went to his first apartment he lived in 1934. We went to all the places he lived. We pulled up to a bungalow on 12th Avenue on the west end of LA, or east end of LA, and he said, "This lawn right here, see that mailbox? 1938, I got my first acceptance letter there." And I opened it up. It was from a magazine called Rob Wagner's Script. And I screamed with joy. I had sold my first story. And my mother heard me yelling and rushed out. And I said, "Mom, I sold my first story. I sold my first story." And I danced with my mother on that lawn we're looking at. So that afternoon, we drove all through Los Angeles and Hollywood. And he shared with me these beautiful moments, all the way up to the courtship of his wife and their romantic and very sexual courtship, and showed me where they made love under each pier along the beach. And I mean, it was just this remarkable adventure. And it ended, interestingly, we went to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Hollywood, and there's Cecil B. DeMille's grave and Valentino's grave, and we're looking at all these graves. And there was sort of this, we went from the beginning of his life to, looking at monuments to, passing. And that was really a profound day. And the last thing he did is he said, "There's one more place I'd like to take you." I said, "Where's that?" He said, "Have you seen my star on the Walk of Fame?" And he laughed. He said, "Doesn't that sound egotistical as hell?" And we drove up to Hollywood and got out of the car. And there's Ray Bradbury's star right there on Hollywood Boulevard. And he's standing there looking at his sort of eternity right there. So that was just a remarkable day. Remarkable.